Wstawaj, strata ogromna, wstawaj, rozpięty boj. Faschistycznej siły ciągną, zakradają odboj.
Good afternoon, folks. It's another lovely day here in Smithdom, the house of cats, the house of many cats in videos. See if you can spot all 10 at some point or another. You should have your own little tally sheet. Today, we have Stalingrad Besieged by Worthington Games. Fairly new game, interesting little piece. Has 3 different components to it in the sense of how you choose to play it. You've got blocks, you've got cards, and you've got very large counters, which we will look at later. The cover's grim looking, isn't it? Black, red, almost looks like Soviet art, and it's got a PK-4, I guess that is supposed to be disabled on it. In the background, it's sort of hard to see. You see an infantryman in the rubble. I suppose it's either a Panzer Grenadier or an engineer. Because what do engineers do? They build them, or they dig them and they die on them. But it's a grim looking front. Ha! The back's grim looking too. Good weight to the game. Now, as always, one of the things to consider about Stalingrad is to determine what the scope of it is in terms of time. Because then that will determine the casualties. But in general, from the time where the Germans got to the Volga to the time that von Paulus surrendered, you can approximate 300,000 German casualties, 308,000 Romanian, Hungarian, and Italian casualties, and about 1.13 million Soviet casualties. Somewhere in that total, the Soviets lost 4,000 tanks. Now, the dates on that, I think, are a little iffy. The Germans lost 10% of their transport fleet, a whole 10% when they lost the airfield at Tatsinka. It's a lot to lose all at once. Now, we'll talk about books. Indispensable book for any of you? The Atlas of Eastern Front, 1941-1945. Lovely maps. Miss Katie bought this for me. I don't know if it was before 9/11 or not. I'm thinking it was after 9/11 sometime. That's my best guess. There are 2 books here we've reviewed for various publications. At least one of those was Armor. There's the Glance and House book, Stalingrad. Good read. 1-volume work. And Frank Ellis, who I happen to like a great deal, the Stalingrad Cauldron. Shorter volumes of the Monstrosity series. To the Gates of Stalingrad, Armageddon in Stalingrad, Endgame at Stalingrad, more Stalingrad than I think you could ever want to deal with at once. And then there is the very interesting and good companion to Endgame at Stalingrad, which is a compilation of all the statistics and data of the Stalingrad battle from both sides. It's another one of those glance-type books like Colossus, the Colossus series that he did in terms of data. Lots of great data here, and if you're an East Front person, you want to have this companion book. But now, it's time to get ready to move out to the table. Hi folks, it's Smitty. We're back. We're back with Stalingrad Besieged. And again, what kind of box is it? So I'd say to Miss Katie, say the magic word, it's grim looking. But let's open up and see what we have inside. We have the rule book, and then we have the base rule, the addendum to the base rules. This is the actual size of the rule books. This is not a mistake. This is the actual size. and go through it. It is 16 pages that, and this goes from Alpha 1 to Alpha 4, or faux pages, as we would say. If there's anything Miss Katie hates, stickers. Yeah, she just mouthed the S word to me, stickers. She hates putting stickers on anything. She'll do anything but stickers. Now, we have what I think are very nicely done, really big counters. And you've got both sides, one pops out, both sides here. And of course, this is our friend Ollie. Ollie was found under a trailer. We have the German, we have both infantry and tanks. We now have a nice big map, and we're right here. We will of course do a closer look at it then, and the map is really a section of Stalingrad and is used for different purposes. And we then have, of course, 2 game cards. One that tells you the rules summary, and the other how pieces work and all. Again, nicely thought out. For our friend Sam Kessler, we have baggies. Yeah, she's got the look on her face, folks, because she knows what goes on those. And what goes on those, Miss Katie?
Stickers.
Stickers, and we hate stickers. Then there are 3 sets of game cards. There are the German, of course, the Soviet, and the generic ones that are things like Russian fortified, replacements, airstrikes, heavy artillery, and for the Soviets, things like what a unit can do, and the same for the German. That's the quick look. We'll do a more in-depth look here in a minute by myself. Thank you. We'll see you in another minute. Hi folks, it's Smitty back, and we're going to start with looking at the map here. Here is the map as we scan it of Stalingrad. And we're going to end up with some of Ollie right here. There's our friend Ollie. What we get with the game is we get either the option to use blocks, big counters, or cards. Here we see the big counters. Now we come down to the bottom, the ferry points and the tank factory. Those are KV-1s. And if you look at the ferry boat, it looks like the ferries that were used in the movie, doesn't it? Of course, now here we have Russian infantry at the top. Now what's funny is you look at the elite tanks. The elite tanks, well, that's either a BT-5 or a BT-7, so why they would put that tank as the moniker for an elite tank, frankly, baffles me. Now you can also, rather than use those, you can use the cards. Cards are the same thing, same information. Again, I suppose it's a matter of choice. What you also have are the option cards. They are things that give you specific, such as, like here, Russians fortify or German replacements. Snipers and infiltration. Heavy artillery barrage. And everybody's favorite when you teach an Air Force class, the airstrike. So the game offers a lot for being only 7 turns, and of course I suppose I should show the bane of Miss Katie. Counters to put on blocks. Yeah, we may or may not do that. But what is nice is you have the 2 cards. Of course, the one that it very clearly states What are the replacement types? The attack factor, defense factor, movement rate, big cards. And then the card. What the options are, where it shows you, like the 1. The brown card, that option is available for either player. You see this one, Russian change sector, German airstrike for the card. It shows you that it's only available for which player. And then procedure for an attack. All very clearly laid out, all very easy, that for in case you have any trouble remembering anything, it's clearly set out for you, the player. And then, of course, there's the front of the player card. Your rules summary, and we'll go down through that. Objectives, artillery, replacement, sectors, options card, and sequence of play. Again, clearly set out at its basic. It's a good gut feeling. I like the way it looks so far, and I like these big counters. Although, again, we come back to, if you wanted an elite tank, it would have been the KV series, because they were, other than the fact they had some transmission issues, and much more of an elite tank than our friend the BT series. But I always liked the BT series. As always, we thank you for watching. Thank you, and have a blessed day.